Hey everybody, I'm back. So I actually put together a video just the other day on this topic. I recorded it, it was about 8 minutes. I edited it and I uploaded it onto YouTube and my edits didn't work. I tried to upload again. It failed. So I'm doing the same thing. If you've been watching anything that I've done on IGTV, you're going to see a similar theme here. And what I'm going to talk about is passive and active vocabulary. But I don't want to say it in exactly the same way as I said it last time on IGTV, and maybe you've heard me talk about this topic before, so I'm going to try to keep it a little bit more broad and talk a little bit about the balance between fluency and accuracy. Fluency and accuracy. So fluency is your rate of speech, how quickly you talk, and accuracy is your grammar, your syntax. Do you make mistakes? Do you choose the correct words, correct prepositions? So basically, on one hand, are you making mistakes? And on the other hand, are you speaking quickly and in long sentences? It's very important that we balance fluency and accuracy. We don't want to speak too slowly in order to be accurate. This prevents communication. This makes it frustrating and difficult for other people to listen to you if you're going to speak very slowly. People won't want to listen to you if you speak too slowly, and you won't be able to communicate your thoughts effectively if you are too slow. On the other hand, if you're speaking too quickly, then you're making a lot of mistakes because you're speaking too quickly, then you're going to be difficult to understand. You're not going to communicate well. So there's a balance. Yeah? And one of the things when we talk about passive and active vocabulary, the words that you know and recognize, active vocabulary, the words that you know and can use, is that the active vocabulary is where we have our fluency. We have our active vocabulary, we can access it easily, and we can speak and use these words, this vocabulary, fluently. With our passive vocabulary, we don't have access, we have to think about these words, we can't find them, or maybe it takes a long time for us to find them, and that affects our fluency. So really, we want to have as much active vocabulary as possible to be fluent, and as little passive vocabulary. Even me as a native speaker, I have some passive vocabulary. Sometimes I'll listen to something or read something very high level, and I'm like, yeah, I know that word, but I wouldn't use it. It's not in my active vocabulary. But for the most part, we want to have active vocabulary and not a lot of passive vocabulary. And that will help us be more fluent and make the correct word choice and express ourselves better. So as I was talking about on my IGTV video, and as I have talked about before, the way to make your passive vocabulary active is simply by using it. You need to use your passive vocabulary in order to make it active. So when you learn new words, or you see words that you recognize and you know, but they're passive, try to use them as soon as possible after you see them. Once or twice in a real conversation usually is enough. Sometimes even once is enough. You're like, I learned the word and I used it, and now it's in my active vocabulary. And like everything else in life, like exercise, like any skill that you have, anything that you can do, that you have learned, of course, you must continue to practice, you must continue to use your language skill in order to keep that active vocabulary. And what happens if you don't use and practice your language, a lot of that just it goes from active back into passive vocabulary. And certainly that's happened with me in terms of French and Japanese, both languages I learned and can still speak somewhat, but a lot more passive vocabulary. The good news is it's not too difficult to make passive vocabulary active again, and it's much faster than learning new vocabulary for it to become passive and then making it active. So when you're just making passive vocabulary active, that's a lot easier than just learning new words that you had that weren't part of your passive vocabulary. So that's good news if you have a lot of passive vocabulary. It's not a bad thing. It's actually kind of a good thing because it's better than having no passive vocabulary or no vocabulary. So use it, use it, use it. Get a language teacher, work with somebody like myself, contact me. I always have space available. Join a class, join a study group, anywhere. Maybe you have friends, people you can talk to. Just use your language in real speech, and that will really help your fluency. That will help your passive vocabulary to become active, and that's really the key with the ideas of passive and active vocabulary. So you won't get very fluent without having a good active vocabulary. Guys, thanks for watching. I'm going to try to do more of these. Please like and subscribe and spread the word. The more people that I get to comment and like and give me feedback, the more of these I will do. So if you like the content, I really appreciate your support.